That was Bududa district in 2010, in which over 100 people were reportedly killed by these landslides. The government and the Red Cross Society are trying to avoid a repeat of the same, even as they deal with the impact of flash floods in Kasese district. The risk map lays out areas in Bududa, Manafwa, Mbale, Sironko, Bulambuli, Kapchora, Buko and Queen, areas around the Mount Elgon region prone to floods and landslides.
After this high-risk mapping, we have over 20,000 people at the high risk.
The norm has been to react after the disaster has occurred, and even then the reaction has been slowed because the government has depended more on aid from donors to help its people in the wake of disasters. There is need for a new approach.
Disaster management is a complicated issue. Like it has been indicated, government needs its own funding to have emergency response plans implemented, emergency funds in place.
The events in Kasese, however, come as no surprise, since this too is one of the flood-prone areas of Uganda.
All the mountain areas are prone to situations like Bududa. It is only the magnitude and the type.
The death toll stands at 8, but the full extent of the loss from the floods is yet to be felt, with the rains showing no promise of letting up.
Flooding comes as a result of heavy rainfall, but it comes as a symptom of something bigger.
You know what is happening? This climate change is associated with increase in rainfall in some areas, where it reduces in some other areas. It rains at a high speed, where you get a lot of rain in a short time.
The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change has predicted before that climate change is likely to intensify flooding hazards in many areas of the world. Flooding risks are also shaped as much by social factors. Ideally, the land near the river is supposed to be left intact. In Kasese, though, and many other areas, the land has been cultivated, and there are even homesteads by the riverside.
The devastation caused by the flood is usually human-induced. So Kasese area, if you look at the Kasese area, it's one of the highly densely populated areas of this country. Trees have been cut.
We are mismanaging the land. People are cultivating on very steep slopes. That's why you see the water flowing is having a lot of soil.
When trees are cut down, the water is not easily absorbed into the ground, and so it flows very easily, carrying the soil away with it. When the rains are heavy, the water flows over steep slopes, carrying with it heavy stones that give it more force. That means that anything in its way, if it cannot match the strength of the water, will be swept away. The immediate solution?
We adapt by ensuring that there's ample vegetation cover, so people in Kasese need to be encouraged to plant trees, to reduce tillage on the land.
Keep monitoring, and then you tell people to leave so that they don't die. Because the shortest term measure is to reduce deaths so that those fellows don't die.
And the long-term...
You know, our population has been growing at a very high rate. Many people think, no, the population is still small. But the rate at which it's growing is the problem. And that's why you find those areas which have high populations. When the population increases, you are talking of fighting poverty, they have to use the environment. So when they are using the environment, they destabilize it.
Bridges have been washed away in these floods. Experts say to construct a bridge, this kind of water flow is what should be used to measure the height, and not when the waters are calm.
Make the bridge high enough, taking into account that when there is a flood, this water will be able to pass under the bridge.
Heavy trucks have been blocked from plying the Kasese Portal Road, and the Uganda Red Cross puts the figure of those displaced at over 18,000. Josephine Karunji Musisi, NTV.